Turning overseas, what is the level of knowledge that the U.S. has about Israel's intentions on its northern border? Has the U.S. been briefed on specific operational plans to launch some sort of ground incursion into Lebanon?
So, look, I'm not going to get into private diplomatic conversations from here. Certainly would refer to the IDF to speak to their own military operations and their plans, as we normally do. But we do understand that the strategic purpose of this is to make sure that Hezbollah cannot maintain the capacity to attack Israeli communities from the immediate opposite side of the border. And so that is our understanding, but I'm not going to go into specifics of our diplomatic conversations here.
Is that a goal that the President and this administration is supportive of?
Look, what we will say and what I will say to you, and we say this all the time, this is nothing new, that Israel has a right to defend itself against Hezbollah, against Iran-backed groups. We're talking about Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis. And so we are in constant discussion with the Israelis on the best way to move forward. And we would certainly refer you to any, as I said seconds ago, to the Israelis on their own ground operation. Of course, we want to see a ceasefire. That would give us the space, as we have been saying, of diplomacy and enable citizens, right, to go back to their homes on both sides. And ultimately, a diplomatic resolution is what we want to see and what we want to make sure is that is in place, and we're going to certainly continue to have those conversations with Israelis and others on how to make that happen.
Karine, the president said this morning that, quote, I'm comfortable with them stopping with regards to the Israeli potential incursion into Lebanon. What did he mean by that, and does that mean he's uncomfortable with them continuing?
No, answer that question, which is we believe that Israel has the right to defend itself against Hezbollah and Iran-backed groups. We have said that. We've also have said that Israel is in a tough neighborhood. You've heard us say that. They really are. And so we believe they have the right to defend itself. What we also want to see is a diplomatic resolution here. We do want to see a ceasefire. Ultimately, that's what we need to see in order to get to a place where we can get to a ceasefire, right? Where we can see citizens going back to their homes on both sides. So that still remains to be true. But do we want to see, ultimately want to see, get to a place where we get to a diplomatic resolution? Yes, that's what we want to see, for sure.
He's uncomfortable with them continuing.
No, what we have said is consistently Israel has the right to defend itself against Hezbollah. We are not shedding tears over a terrorist that was killed. That terrorist has American blood on their hands. And so we're certainly not going to shed a tear over that. We've been very clear. Israel has a right to defend itself. We've been very clear that the security of Israel, when it comes to its security, our support is ironclad. That has not changed.
A lot of those diplomatic conversations happened over the weekend as Israel was conducting these raids in Lebanon. Is the outcome one that those diplomatic conversations were discussing? I mean, were U.S. officials offering their support for the way that Israel proceeded?
What I can say is that not going to speak to private diplomatic conversation. What I said moments ago, which is we understand the strategic purpose of this is to make sure that Hezbollah cannot maintain the capacity to attack Israeli communities from the immediate opposite side of the border. That's what we understand. I'm just not going to get into specifics or into diplomatic conversations from here.
It's now been 5 days, though, since the U.S. and Western allies publicized the discussions over this 21-day ceasefire proposal. Is there still any hope that that gets put together?
As you know, this is a president that's hopeful and optimistic, and you hear him say that.
Given the conversations
You asked me if that is hopeful, right? So, look, we believe the way to get to a ceasefire is to have this diplomatic resolution, to get us some space, to have a diplomatic solution. That's ultimately the way to get there. And so we understand that we need a ceasefire in Lebanon to provide that space for diplomacy. That's what we're going to continue to have discussions. Those discussions to continue with Israel. So that is what we're going to focus on. And what we want to see is a de-escalation. That's what we've been saying. We want to see a de-escalation.